Hey friends, welcome back to another video, and it's officially that time of year. It's pumpkin season. So today I'm going to show you how to create the easiest pumpkin you will ever paint with watercolor. So let's jump in and get started. Okay friends, so today we are painting the easiest pumpkin ever. This is not going to take long. It's simple to do, nice and loose, and perfect for beginners. So I'm just painting in this random sketchbook that I have. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. I have my palette from my previous video where I mixed a bunch of fall colors. If you have not seen it yet, make sure you check it out. I'll put the little link right here or somewhere on the screen. And I have my Lefebvre Craftimo brush in a size 8 round. You know what? I might switch it up. You could use a size 12. Maybe we'll do a couple different sizes. But all you're going to need is a round brush, some paints, and some paper and water and paper towel, obviously. All right, let's start. I'm going to use my size 12 to start. We're going to do a nice big pumpkin here. Now, if you can paint a curved line, you can do this. So I'm going to make it as simple as possible. We're going to grab some orange here. I only have a little bit of orange left, but we can make some more with our red and yellow. And I'm just getting a little bit of orange. And the first thing you're going to do is you're just going to create an oval shape. Now, the beauty about this is that not all pumpkins are perfectly round. And if there's a little bit of lumps and bumpiness to it, that's totally fine. If you have a shakier hand, that's okay too. It does not have to be perfect. I'm just going to create a little bit more orange here because pumpkins are imperfect. So create an oval, a decent size oval. It can be fatter, it can be thinner. We can do a couple different ones, but just an oval like that. Then what you're going to do is go slightly above this oval, not right over top, but just slightly to the left of it. And you're just going to create a C curve. Like that. And where you're going to finish your curve is slightly above where this oval ends. Like that. Okay, so it's not on the same level. It's not completely level with the bottom there. It is slightly above, and here is slightly above. And then I'm just going to go back up. I'm going to leave a little bit of white space in between these two shapes. Okay, if you have to go back and kind of just perfect your little shape here. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. You can do that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing to the other side. Slightly above this oval, okay, you should be coming a little bit above. Drag your brush, create the C curve, leaving a little bit of white space in between those two shapes. If there's parts where the two shapes touch and there's no white space there, that's totally okay too. It does not have to be perfect. Okay, so here we have our next oval shape. See the pumpkin coming together? Super easy. Now we're going to do it 2 more times. And we're going to do the same thing, slightly above this one. And it's going to come down, finishing above the bottom of this. Okay, I'm just going to go back. I'm going to create a little bit more of my color here, just mixing my yellow and my red. Like so. Okay. Trying to leave a little bit of white space, like I said, though. If it doesn't happen, it's okay. Like that one did not happen. Again, on this side, creating our C curve like that. See how mine's kind of lumpy? It works. All right. Then what I like to do is I like to go back over my shapes with my wet brush and a little bit of color just to make sure it's all nice and wet, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little bit of a darker orange and add a little bit of shading to it. Okay, so we have our orange here. I don't have any brown, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some green, and that actually helps create a brown, and I'm going to tap it at the top and at the bottom of these curves. Okay, I'm just adding a little bit of brown to the top and the bottom, like that. And if you want, you can kind of drag it along the side. And it just creates a little bit more depth to your pumpkin. Okay, you can go around, still trying to maintain a lot of that white space in between. It just creates the separation in between those sections. Okay, like so. All right, then you're going to create your stem. So I need to create brown again. I'm going to grab a little bit of my red here, some of my green, create my brown. If I want it a little bit darker, I can add a little bit of purple to it. And I'm just going to create the stem. My pumpkin's still wet. That's okay if it bleeds into it a little bit. And I'm just going to create this kind of jagged stem here. Like that. And it can go like this. Just go whoop, like that. And you have like the most perfectly imperfect pumpkin. And it's super, super easy to do. Okay. So if you wanted to add a little bit more to it, you can always add a little bit more shading. You can take your clean, damp brush and just like lift a little bit of color if you want some more highlight. But really don't think too much of it. Just do what you can and play around. Let's try another one with a different shape, maybe even a different color. I'm going to use my smaller brush over here, but it's just the same formula. Again and again. I'm going to create it with my size 8 round. I want to do like one of those kind of dusty, greeny blue ones. So I'm just mixing a little bit of green, a little bit of blue, maybe a tiny bit of red just to mute it a little bit. That kind of sagey color. A little bit more blue, I think. Like that, and just create a light wash. So a light wash is when you have less pigment on your brush and more water. So it's a lighter color. Let's make this one a little bit taller, okay? Maybe even lumpier. Look at this. We're gonna make a lumpy kind of pumpkin here. See, it's not even a perfect oval. Now all you're gonna do is the same thing. Slightly over top, C curve, finishing just slightly above that baseline. Leave a little bit of white space. Same thing over here. Does not have to be completely symmetrical. That. Another one could be kind of lumpier towards the bottom. And then another one. Like that. See how lumpy this pumpkin is? I love it. Gives it so much character. All right, so I'm just going to wet it all up a little bit more. And then I'm going to grab a little bit more color, maybe a little bit more blue. I'm going to tap it at the top of my pumpkin and at the bottom, just for a little bit more depth, maybe around some of the sections a little bit. If you find that you're getting harder lines, like see how this is pretty hard there, and it's not blending out, maybe it's starting to dry a bit, you can wash off your brush a little, or wash off your brush, dry it on your paper towel, and then just kind of blend it out a bit. Like that. You can get your brown and create your stem. The easiest pumpkins you will ever paint, honestly. So much fun to do. You can do a little whoop. But like, look how much character it has not being a perfectly round pumpkin. Let's do another one. Let's do maybe one of those white pumpkins. Now this is a whole other lesson. I'm going to create a white pumpkin not using white. Obviously the background of our paper is white, so we can't use white watercolor. But if you pick an undertone color, it could be blue, gray, brown, anything like that. Every white object has an undertone of some sort of color. So I just took a little bit of brown here, a little bit of that blue, mix them together, you get this kind of gray color. Water that down, and it's going to make it look, yes, a little bit like a gray pumpkin. But then, once you're kind of done, it gives the illusion that it's this white object just by using a light wash of that gray. Just doing those lumpy shapes, leaving that white space. Now, I don't want to add too much shadow to this one because it is a white pumpkin. A little bit is necessary because you need a difference in the depth, like to show depth. But I might take a little bit more blue, like that. And just kind of the bottom. around the sides. It's like one of those like grayish light white blue pumpkins. I love those ones. Those are some of my favorite. Like that. And the reason why I put it at the top of the bottom is because that is where you're going to get the most shadow on your pumpkin. And then somewhat around some of the sections that kind of separate it, right? Grab your brown. Just kind of mixing all the colors here to get a brown. A little bit more brown. And then do your stem. Like that. Honestly, so easy. Again, you can go back and like lift some of the color if you like to get a bit of a highlight just with a wet damp brush. But honestly, it's so simple, you can't go wrong, okay? So there is how to do the easiest pumpkin you will ever make. Thank you all so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on all my other platforms for tons more content. Have a wonderful day. Bye.